welcome to another edition of Greatness Quest. I'm Trevor Crane, and every single week I'm bringing you somebody absolutely extraordinary. This is Pat Petrini, a good friend, now client. We've gotten the chance to work together for the last 4 months. He's the founder of Real Estate Shortcut, and I can't wait to tell you his story about how he's got a great story about how he did that. I'll let you tell it, actually. And this is our second run of recording things because I made a mistake on the last record. But Pat Petrini is also the best-selling author of Miracle Mornings for network marketers. And you've had a busy year, my friend. I know you've traveled and had a bunch of fun. Tell us a little, how the hell did you pull this off this last year on best-selling book, launching a phenomenal business to help people? Give everybody a little insight into your
Well, thanks for having me on here. It's a pleasure to be able to be on your show finally here. I'm excited. So the last year has been doing a lot of stuff. I mean, we've had this book that's been in the process for a while, and then launching this course, which a huge part of why the course is even available now is the opportunity to work with you and your team. When you and I talked when we first talked like 6 months ago or whatever, actually one of the things that I remember throwing out there was, I've got kind of this rough drafted course, but it's not quite ready yet. And you were kind of like, bullshit. It could be ready a lot faster than you're thinking. You kind of like put the pressure on me to get things cranking with that a little bit faster than I had planned. And that's a big part of why we're here now with Real Estate Shortcut being out and being, kind of completed to where it is. And then aside from that, we're keeping our real estate business going, which has kind of been our main bread and butter for the last 2-3 years or so. And but we're always trying to do things that are hopefully building leverage streams of income is always our goal, whether it's books or network marketing or real estate or courses or whatever, is always kind of like where our heads are always at.
Well, brother, I got to tell everybody. So here's what's really neat about Pat is when we first started connecting and he was sharing the vision for his business, Real Estate Shortcut. And that is basically to give away his formula of how he was able to save. Like, he was in a dire financial situation and turn stuff around by finally figuring out a shortcut of bypassing all the crap in real estate, and that can get confusing in any business, to figuring out this how to connect the dots and make a ton of money in a short period of time. And he's done it so well, and he had put so much investment into that education that he wanted to give that information back. And by the way, anybody who's looking at the camera from here, you can see I've got his website up here. You can go to realestateshortcut.com and check it out. You can also get an exact blueprint, or your business plan is available at greatnessquest.com/real estate shortcut. So we're not going to hold anything back here. I want to have you tell a little bit of your story about how this came about. And I'm so proud of you, though, man. This last year, publishing a phenomenal book, #1 bestseller. And I have a friend in Australia that was telling me the other day that they heard about the book and everybody's talking about it. And man,
I love it. It's great hearing that. It's so funny when you were mentioning that. I feel like we're doing a good job of getting that out there. And we've been fortunate to be #1 bestseller since it hit the shelves a few weeks ago. So it's doing good. Things are off to a good start there.
Well, you're the first guest I've had that's actually been a client, and I'm excited to share your story. Now, I tend to work with people who are already freaking awesome, and that's you. So I know that my team and I have had some help with building Real Estate Shortcut and making it like unbelievably valuable for people, but it's really your content, your brainchild. And I want to share this with everybody too, because when I first started talking to Pat about this business, I kept giving him ideas and he kept saying, well, that's really good, but I'm really cautious about how I spend my time.
Sure.
Time is the most precious thing to me. So as we've designed this, it's not only precious to Pat, and he's very defensive of how he spends his time, very particular, but he's also designed it in such a way that it's a simple shortcut for people. So I want everybody to look forward to that. I'm sorry, you were about to say something, brother.
No, just I tried to, in doing this course, it's trying to create the course that I wish existed when I was getting started, both from both from, I mean, it's basically like I know what type of lifestyle Emily and I want to, live and continue to live and whatever, and being able to work remotely, being able to do things that, are leveraging your time. And so that's what we want out of real estate. And so we tried to build something that would show people how that's possible, how you can be doing deals and making $20,000, $30,000 checks, where really it was only an outlay of like an hour or two of your time for that process to happen. And trying to give people the course that I wish existed when I was there, and at a price point that I could have afforded when I was there, which is one of the big problems with real estate education out there.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's get into this a little bit. Before you tell everybody the secrets, I've got about another minute before we're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
But I want to go ahead and tell people about where you were before you had success, because I think that's kind of cool. And I mean, people could read your story and stuff, but tell them a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, my wife and I, we had a successful business that was going, and then kind of when the economy turned for everybody, a few years back 2008 now, then we just went way upside down. We were doing really good as far as investing our money and all that kind of stuff, but we were investing it all in real estate. We all know what happened to real estate in 2008. Went way upside down, and we ended up in 2009 with like basically no money. We were on the IRS's speed dial. We were hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and so this was a way of kind of getting out of that.
So I love it because I love anything. I had to file a bankruptcy at one point. I don't love that, but I love the fact that you can talk about your success when you had to create it from nothing, and you didn't really find the breakthrough, or in this case, the shortcut, until you went through some of those challenges. So when you guys come back, we're going to go ahead and talk about what that shortcut is so that you guys can get something really valuable. Hey guys, welcome back to Greatness Quest. I'm here with Pat Petrini, the founder of the Real Estate Shortcut, best-selling author of Miracle Mornings for Network Marketers. We were just talking about how life was really hard at one stage, you poor
That's
bastard.
Right.
So, but I also want everybody wants to hear about your success. What the hell is this shortcut? So start wherever you want, my friend, and tell them what's next. Like, how did this all come about?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we like we were talking about at the end of the break there, or before the break, we were just kind of found ourselves in kind of this downward financial spiral. And, I don't want to get too much into that, but just like to illustrate a point, there was literally a point that it's easy for me to remember the low day in that whole segment of time, because there was really a day that I was out doing things that I hate doing, going to networking events. I'm just not a big fan of going to those things, just trying to like drum up business, and it's my nightmare is going to those things.
Hold on, you wrote a best-selling book that just came out about network marketing. So networking is in there.
And I'm a network marketer that does not like networking events. Evening cocktails, like get together, one person from every business class, I hate that stuff. So I was out doing that stuff and out of desperation to try to drum up business and help us out and everything. And it was just like, you get to the gas station, there's literally not even $20 in your bank account, so you're getting a piece of gum and then $10 cash back.
You keep saying you, dude. This didn't happen to me. Are you saying that happened to you?
Yeah. I'm saying that's where we were at one point, was buying a piece of gum to get $10 cash back at the gas station because you didn't even have a 20 in your bank account to be able to pull a $20 bill out to be able to pay for gas that way. You
bought a pack of gum so that could give you enough money to pull the $20 off, so you could put 19.
Because the gas station typically will authorize, I know this because we were there, it needs to authorize like $50 or $40 on your card before it'll actually let you pump. If you don't have that much, then you need to be pulling cash out of the ATM. If you don't have $20, you can't pull a 20 out of the ATM, so you've got to buy a stick of gum and get $10 cash back, hand that $10 to the guy so that I can put $10 in my gas tank so I can drive home.
Is this before you got married?
Or this is maybe just after, or maybe just before, just after. It was right around being married. Yeah.
And by the way, let me chip this bubble gum and wrap it around your finger. Like, it's so great.
Right.
I'll take care of you forever.
Exactly. Yeah. She definitely married into my finances going the wrong direction at that point, and luckily she saw more than that, hopefully. So, But anyway, so not to belabor that too much, but that's just kind of where we were. And I always like to tell people that, hey, we were still, uh, everybody talks about like their stage story, right? What they've come from to get where they are. And so I always like to say, I think it's still important that we all recognize like all that I lost was the financial stuff. I still had the girl, I still had the important stuff. And, we're all like, if we make more than 35,000 a year here in the United States, we're still going to probably live a better day than 99% of the world's population is going to have financially. But so all
Man,
that said,
hold on. The sun will come out tomorrow. Like,
right.
Pat's so
like
smiley. Like, someone else will slit their throats. They're like,
I know.
Your woman would leave you. You're like, but at least the sun was shining, and
right.
somebody's got it worse than me.
Exactly. I always feel like I have to throw that out when I'm throwing out my sob story, because I'm like, come on, it's not as bad as other people.
It's true, man. I mean, that is the lifestyles of the rich and famous there for 99% of the planet. But not everybody thinks like that. So how'd this turn around?
So basically, we were just, we had, backs against the wall was off, which is oftentimes a good thing, right? It forces you to work your butt off and get out of that corner. And so, we were just really looking at what we wanted to do. We were looking at the resources that we had available to us, looking at the friends that we have down here. What are they doing? What are they involved in? And we happen to
You're in Arizona at this stage?
In Arizona, yeah, is where we're at the moment. And we were brand new to moving in Arizona at the time. But, we had some friends that were involved in real estate that knew some stuff about real estate, somebody that we could potentially, like, partner with their mentor, somebody could kind of be a mentor. We're just kind of like...
pause for a second, because I got to go ahead. There is something that I think I know, but you alluded to in the first segment. You had previously made some money. You'd previously had some success in business, and then you took that money and you gave it to real estate. So I heard that you'd already invested, but then there was this bubble that everybody lost money in. So just because you're saying, well, you're saying I found a real estate mentor locally that could help me, but you'd already done real estate. I just want to clean this up because you'd already bought a house or two or something. And then what happened? Those went in 2009.
Yeah, had bought a couple of houses kind of during the bubble, had bought a couple of houses, not really knowing anything about real estate. And then had like done some land investments of people that are running up to you saying, hey, dude, I found this guy that's got this great deal, this land investment down in nowhere, Arizona or nowhere, Nevada or whatever. And those sounded like a good deal. And, different things that we sunk a bunch of cash into that all went upside down. And some of those are still
Did you invest in a gold mine? Because I did.
Yeah, it's very close. Almost
I did.
I almost did one time.
And then I invested in a biomatrix company, and I just wrote them a big check when I had, Yeah.
So it was all stuff like that. And not knowing, there was people during that time that knew real estate, that knew what a problem that it was, like the bubble that we were getting into and all that kind of stuff, because they'd been around and they knew it. It was obvious to them. I was not one of those people. Like, that was a learning experience for me. And now, we're hopefully smarter for, the next time that those sorts of things come around. But now, I felt like after the crash, after we kind of like learned our lessons from that, lost all of our money, then we actually like started to learn how like real estate actually works and what.
Right. Instead of buying on the bubble when everybody's like buying, and the banks are giving away money, everybody thought they were a genius. You couldn't do anything wrong in business or in real estate. You're like, if you bought something, it grew. Next month, you sell it for $100,000 profit. That went away, and you actually had to learn the doggone business. So even though you got burned, you found mentors in your back pocket there that could help you. Is that what happened?
Well, and that's one of the had definitely found a couple like local mentors that we were able to not just learn from, but also establish a beneficial partnership with. That was beneficial for them and beneficial for us to be working with them, doing the legwork, and us all making some money together. And that's one of the first things that I teach actually as part of my shortcut is how to sort of mine your field of influence way more than a lot of people realize they have, to find that local mentor or mentors, which is one of the most critical steps, I think, to really getting started in your market.
Well, what I like about your program, too, is that it offers people already that if they get involved at like nothing, you can almost get involved. You get involved with Pat and learn his program for almost nothing, literally.
Yeah.
And then you've given away like the keys to the kingdom, but you also give them some of those partnership options, the way they can find people that have synergies in their local marketplace or not. So we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Greatness Quest. We'll be back in just a second. Hey guys, welcome back. You're watching Greatness Quest, and I'm here with Pat Petrini, which you can see on that screen over here. This is my trying to be magical. I have cameramen. I don't have cameramen. But at any rate, we are talking about the real estate shortcut, how you actually started to have success. And I love this because you and I are practicing about this in your business right now as you're launching and sharing real estate shortcut with other people. You didn't choose to do this business of sharing the education part of the shortcut on your own. You said, Trevor, can you help me? And I said, yes. Well, first of all, I didn't say yes. We talked about it, and we did it like, can I help you? What do you want specifically? And then I brought on a business partner to help you as well. Like, I don't want to be the guy that has to do everything. So based on what you needed, Pat, I used the same strategy that you were just saying you used in real estate. Was that you knew you needed to make a breakthrough. So you decided, okay, even though you knew something about it, you went out and found somebody that had strategic knowledge, and lo and behold, that's one of the first strategies you share in your shortcut. And tell them a little bit, am I lying that that's one of the resources that people get in this program? Tell them just a little bit about that if they want. Oh, by the way, you can get Pat's exact business model at greatnessquest.com/real estate shortcut. So you can check that out. It'll give you the system. But go ahead.
And on that link, I give you the full blueprint, full diagram of our entire business model. And then there's a 20-minute video of me taking you through it. So it really is all the ins and outs of how our whole business works for anybody that wants that. And so on the other topic that you were asking about is, so the other thing that people get as part of my program is they get access to me. And we have a private forum, a group forum where members can like post questions to me. So you have that mentor that you can like bounce ideas off of. But the other aspect of it that I think is so important is that a lot of people say, well, will this work in my area? Yes, everything that I teach will work in your area, but I know that I'm not an expert in your area, and I'm not trying to be, and that's also why my course isn't $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000, is because that's how much I'd probably have to make in order to be an expert in your area and like be that partner for you. So I'm not trying to pretend that I am that for everybody in the course, and instead what I teach you to do is right off the bat, it's step number one, is I teach you how to go find that person in your area and not have to pay them, not have to hire them for $20,000 to $30,000, but to create a synergistic partnership with that person where they're going to make money working for you and teaching you, and you're going to make money bringing deals to them and learning from them, and maybe set up 4 or 5 of those people in your area. And I'm going to teach you how to find those people first, so that you'll have me as a mentor, but also you'll have them that are actually experts in your market, whatever that ends up being. And then we go from there.
You know, I teach one thing, I tell it all the time. Like if there's one thing that I recommend for people is get help.
Yeah.
Just get help. Like, I don't care what you're going to do. Find somebody who's got the result you want, and then just have them help you. And if you ask nicely and strategically, you can generally get their help. They'll throw you a helping hand. And if you have an intelligent way of doing it that's mutually beneficial, good God, it's a phenomenal win-win. I mean, I don't believe we're in a world of competition. I think we live in a world of collaboration. And I love connecting with you. You know what I should celebrate, Pat, is I didn't tell everybody about your successes. So you went from struggling to not struggling, and inside the same year you made more money than you'd ever made when you finally figured this out. So let's bypass the system real quick. Get help is the key thing. Your business plan, they're all going to get as the free giveaway. They'll watch the video, which is a great video, by the way. You can learn a lot just by watching Pat. From a variety of things you can learn a lot. But tell them a little bit about your successes, because I think that's really key.
Well, give you such a stark difference of what this did for us. It took us a little bit of like clawing through the marketplace of like trying to figure out the system and kind of get the system in place or whatever, of kind of 6 or 8 months of kind of putting that all together, getting our team together, like doing that sort of stuff, which now we know how to do that. Now we teach people how to do that a lot faster. But anyway, as soon as things started clicking for us, within the next, I have to remember the exact numbers. We bought like 10 properties within the next like 60 days or 30 to 60 days, there's like 10 single family homes that we bought. And within 18 months, we'd like flipped about 40 properties or so, somewhere north of $6 million worth of real estate in like 18 or 24 months or so. And we went from having our worst year ever by a long shot financially to the very next year was our best year ever by a long shot for us. And we'd had some good years in the past, but we blew past those just immediately once this started kicking in for us.
Okay, so you found a mentor. You started using the secrets of your shortcut, which bypassed a lot of the other junk that people don't need.
Yeah.
And a lot of gurus out there are telling you to come buy their seminar and do their thing. And I know I've been part of I know a lot of your story because we've talked about it, but
yeah,
there's a lot of wasted money and resources and time, and how you can spin plates for freaking no real benefit. But when you finally crack this nut and you give people your business plan and they follow it, you did $6 million in real estate deals in a year and a half. You said 24 months, right?
Yeah, so somewhere like within 24 months on the long side. It might have been within 18 months that we hit the 6 million mark. I'm not totally sure, but somewhere right in there. Yeah.
From going to not having $10 to do gas or whatnot.
Yeah, $10 cash back with a stick of gum to 6 million in the next 18 months. So.
Now, I thought it takes money to make money, baby. I mean, how do you buy $6 million in real estate when you can't buy a pack of gum or gas?
Yeah, so now there's a couple, the quick answer on with real estate is the strategy that is basically if you can just get good at learning how to find good real estate deals, and that's just a skill thing, that's just a time thing. That's not you having money or credit or anything like that. It's just a matter of like learning how to get out there in the marketplace and find what is a really good deal. What's a deal where somebody could possibly buy it and rent it and make money, or somebody could buy it and maybe fix and flip it and make money. What does a good deal look like? And if you can just get good at finding good deals, think about it, it's like finding boxes of money. It's like finding little houses full of money that are out there. So if you don't have the money to buy them yourself, if you don't have the money or the credit, how hard do you think it is if they're really good deals? It's not that hard to find people that do have the money or the credit that want to make money off of that little box of cash that you found. And so initially, you might just be finding the good deals and then turning them over to these other investor partners that you might make. And maybe you make a little bit smaller fee up front, but that smaller fee could be $3,000, $5,000, or $10,000, that you're making as a finder's fee for finding this really good deal. And then you're passing it off to them. Or, if you want to do the fix and flip, you want to buy it, do the fix-ups yourselves, you could always find somebody to borrow the money from, which I teach people how to do that. And again, that's not a hard thing to do. But the hard part, the hardest part is actually learning how to get out there and find the good deals. That's the most valuable skill in real estate, is learning how to find a good deal. And if you can just go find them, there's money to be made whether you've got any money or not. And then you can kind of build it up from there. Now we do all of those. We do wholesaling where we find the deal and we turn it over to somebody else. We do fix and flipping where we buy it, we fix it ourselves and flip it. We buy and hold properties. It depends on the property, it depends on the deal. But initially, when you're starting small, you're starting simple, starting the way that we did with no money, no credit, no anything. You just get good at learning how to find those deals and then turn them over to investors that can grab them, make your cash in between, and you can do as many of those as you want.
So here we go, brother. No money, no credit, no true experience because you just gambled and failed. And you were on a bubble of you had money and you gave it up, and then you crapped out.
Yeah.
And so then you found some mentors that were local that could help you, and they said, dude, this is how you find a good deal. Find me a little box of money. This is what it needs to look like. That's not a box of money, but that's representing the house because it's little, right? I should have a Monopoly piece. This is find me one of these, and then we'll do a deal, or however you work that. And I love it. There's a book I want to write because I haven't done it yet, but I want to tell your story in it. It's Partner to Profit. So often I think people think they need to be great at everything, and I have been, a business is broken into marketing, sales, and fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
So the marketing is letting people know that you exist out there, and sometimes people are good at that, and sometimes they suck at that. Like, who are you and what do you do? Then there's sales, the actual conversion needs to happen, and then there's fulfillment. And everybody seems to have everybody has a strength and a weakness, right? And we want to find out where your strengths are. So Pat found me, and then we built a team. And in that marketing, sales, and fulfillment, I always try to find for people, like, where's your gap? Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Where's your strength? Like, just find out where it is. If you want to spend time in fulfillment because you're really good at massage or flipping houses or barber, I don't know, making things up like I need a haircut.
Right.
But, like, do that. Be the visionary for your business that does that, and then you find someone else to do your marketing, or you find someone else to partner with. And then if what you find is that if your client needs, I'll just use this book. If your client needs this and this, there's 2 pages, right? Two sides of the book, and you're really good at this side, well, why not partner with somebody who's good at that side? And then you go, hey, dude, guess what we got? And then you look like you're more complete because you're like, you know what? You need some marketing and you need some sales, and I can do that for you and with you. And I don't know why people don't do this more often. They think, I got to go do it myself, man. I got to go learn that.
Right.
And it's just ridiculous. Let me ask you a question.
That's the beauty of the whole partnership with you guys. Obviously, if somebody was looking at Real Estate Shortcut right now, and not only, I mean, the people just see the front page, until they actually get signed up and everything, but everything associated with that. If I was just doing all of that by myself, that page would basically be a blank page right now. It wouldn't have very much on it. But the whole deal is on a whole different level, and it's done now as opposed to being done a year from now or year and a half, or who knows how long it would have taken me to try to do all of that stuff by myself instead of just hiring you guys that know what you're doing with that sort of stuff.
Well, and I want to share this with everybody because Pat has an extraordinary, I mean, you're extraordinarily good at what you do. And you've actually, I'm looking at the computer right here. I've got his website up, Real Estate Shortcut. Pat's the first client I've ever had where I've had him on the show telling his story. And Pat, this is your story. I mean, this is your story, your successes. It talks about everything you've got in your program. I like this part. This is my favorite part. I actually helped with this. I highlighted your foreclosure document.
Sure, right. Yeah.
We were like, oh, great. Do I really need to put that on there? You need to put that on there so people can hear the story. And you got to check this out. This is where he's with his wife. There's their anniversary. No, your wedding picture, right?
Oh yeah. Our engagement photo.
Your engagement photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but here's what is crazy: is this is a very simple story. It tells how the challenges you went through, how you created your successes, how you want to give it to somebody else. They're getting a lot. They're getting everything they need to have success, and you'll mentor them and work with them and help them create the partnerships and how to find the deals and how to fix and flip and how to buy and hold and rent. All of that is inside the program in a bite-sized chunk and everything. But what's crazy about this is how much time Pat and our team has put in to making this simple. See, people might see this and they're like, well, it's a flat web page. It's like, it's not that complex. It's a simple story. There's a picture of him. You got to see this. Here's a picture of him taking a picture of, like, he was on his mirror. He's writing, like, he was crying, oh my God, my life sucks. I gotta go get him. And so he wrote it on his mirror. But what's cool is this takes a lot of work to make it look simple and to make it be easy to consume. And I'm going to give you props, my friend. You are a phenomenal teacher and educator.
Thanks. Thank you.
I mean, I haven't had to do anything with you to help you become a better communicator. You're already a phenomenal communicator. We did spend, though, how many times did we go back and forth on the text on this page to just figure out your story? I mean,
a lot on the sales page. That's a lot of versions of that sales page.
That's probably, I personally put in like 3-4 hours at a stretch one time, helping it make sense and having it all visually look good. And there's so many nuances and intricacies to doing this business. That's one page of like 100 and all these videos that you've got. And A lot of people think they need to do that themselves. I think I'm bragging about you, brother, but I'm also wanting to beat a point in. You shouldn't try to figure out any business yourself. It's just you're being ignorant. That's really what it is, and selfish. I think it's selfish because nobody's getting your greatness. I actually challenged you, Pat. How many times when you were getting ready for this did you tell me like, I don't think this is the time? You know?
Yeah, yep, several.
I'm thinking I'll wait. You know, maybe I'll wait another 3 months. Maybe I'll go. And then we're gonna go to Norway, and you know, I'm gonna go spend a month in Norway, and then I'll be ready.
Right,
Dude,
totally, several times.
So you need that coach and that mentor, like Pat
sure.
is going to be for everybody who takes advantage of the real estate shortcut. Again, go check it out, greatnessquest.com/real estate shortcut, and you'll get his exact business model. You can also go to realestateshortcut.com and check it out, and check out patpetrini.com. And brother, how do they find you on Facebook and all that?
Yeah, just facebook.com/Pat Petrini, or it's all on my website, www.patpetrini.com, twitter.com/Pat Petrini, all the normal, Instagram. It's all just Pat Petrini, so I'm out there.
Well, and what you guys will like on his website, too, is there's pictures of him on vacation, it looks like, all the time. When we were designing this and coming up with it, I'm like, brother, you're too good looking and your wife's too good looking, and you can't always talk about how, you're on vacation all the time. You're just going to piss people off.
Right.
But it's like, isn't that the business people want? I'm like, yeah, but most of us are out there busting our hump, man, not just making residual income because we know our real estate shortcut. So, all right, well, people need to go ahead and you gave them some good advice here. I'm not going to repeat it, which I typically will do. But what also would you suggest for somebody who wants to be successful in real estate? What are your words of wisdom for them?
Well, I mean, I would say, I don't think that I can overemphasize the importance of having a mentor. So even if somebody didn't sign up for like my course, Real Estate Shortcut or whatever, I just think that you're crazy to not get out there and find a mentor in your area. And real estate is one of those cool things where it's pretty easy if you know what to look for to find a mentor where, again, it can be mutually beneficial, where they're going to make money from like working with you. And that's a lot of times it's not so easy to set up that relationship with like a potential mentor. You kind of have to be banking on their goodwill or something. You don't have to do that in real estate. You just have to know how to kind of set that up right. But getting out there and finding a mentor, getting some good education, and which again, there's a lot of good education out there. There's a lot of kind of crappy education out there, so you can spend some money that way. And that's kind of what I tried to make Real Estate Shortcut be, was sort of the anti-seminar. It's to be the opposite of the typical seminars that are kind of touring around there. And again, some of them are great, some of them are not. But most of them will cost you at least $5,000 to $10,000 to get the goods out of them. And I just think it's possible to put that information out there, more affordably for people.
Well, I'm impressed. When we've been talking, I'll share with everybody as well. If you have a chance, if you're interested at all in having success in real estate, I've been advising Pat that he's charging way too little.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I actually agree with you that you're making it. You'd rather help a lot more people, and the fact that the challenges they've gone through. I agree with you. It's just the quality of what you're putting out is good enough that if people make one deal, it will 100 times their investment. So
yeah, exactly. And one deal would hire me for like 5 years based on my current prices.
Exactly. So
it's pretty darn low, and who knows, maybe you'll convince me to raise the prices here at some point. So,
yeah, but there's going to be. I think what we'll do for a while is keep it where it's at. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you. By the time someone's watching this, I don't know what the price is going to be.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we're just going to probably add more value. I mean, what I like about your whole attitude. I want to share this with everybody else too. When I was working with Pat and we were trying to come up with pictures showing his challenges, we couldn't find anything where you weren't looking happy.
Weren't like smiling. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, I did get in this accident when I was overseas and I was in the hospital and they had to run me in an ambulance. And I'm like, okay, excellent. Let's see that. And he's like,
Yeah, they're still all
smiling
yeah.
with your wife, there's blood on and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
like this is life's an adventure. But what you're gonna notice with Pat, if you haven't already gotten it, is he's really coming from the heart. This is really something that he's created so that it's designed to serve you. Everything we've been talking about for the last 4 months of putting this program together, and this isn't a new program, by the way. Pat, you put this out to a few dozen people earlier in 2015, and had some success stories that we're not going to get into now because we don't have a lot of time, but what we did was revamp it and make it 10 times better to serve you to get your results. And
very, very much so. Yeah, it's a whole different level of what it was. That was we learned some stuff on that kind of rough draft, but then working with you guys, we've really been able to polish it, scale it up a whole lot more, and it's just way better than it was.
Well, and I look forward to seeing...
I'm listening. I'm just plugging in my phone because I'm scared that it's yelling at me that it's going to die here.
All right.
It's but I can still hear everything you're saying.
Hold on. I want to talk over here too. We'll finish the episode like this. So while Pat's out, no, I'm not gonna.
There we go. I keep getting scared to death that it was gonna fall or die on me. So okay, good to go. Sorry about that. Amateur mistake.
No, man, we're all good. So what you're gonna find is that Pat's very humble. But he gives you're an excellent teacher, man. You really give the information in such a way that when I'm watching you, I'm thinking, if this jackass can do it, I can do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
No, but you don't come off with a lot of pomp. And I mean, there's a lot of real estate gurus out there like, hey, watch me. And here I am in my Lamborghini. And or maybe nobody talks like that. But
yeah, there's definitely some of them that
slick.
I definitely stay away from the checks and this fancy car pictures and, whatever. It's not my style, but trying to put some good stuff out there. But yeah, without some of the hype.
Well, what is you're living the dream when it comes to quality of life, which is also, and I'll be frank with everybody, I've made more money in my life than what I'm making right now, what I'm doing professionally.
Sure.
But I've never had a better quality of life, and I've never had so much freedom and fulfillment. And I take 3 months off a year, and I get to spend time with my family, and I take almost every weekend off. Not every weekend, but and I work like a dog when I'm doing it, but my wife and I always brag more about our quality of life than anything else because it's what we want to do with our time. And I get to pick who I want to work with. And Pat, I really wanted to work with you, and I'm grateful. We haven't finalized the details yet, but I look forward to working with you in the future, like moving forward with Real Estate Shortcut in 2016.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
I know it's going to go really well. So I'm also looking forward to the fact that my dad had made the introduction with us. And I've communicated very little with him about your successes and what we've done together so far.
Yeah,
so,
it is funny how it came together, and yeah, I haven't talked to him much yet either, as far as since that original introduction. So yeah.
So at any rate, my friend, we've had kind of a long episode here. Not too long. I've gone a couple hours on some of these ridiculous interviews. But any last words for anybody watching right now as far as what to do next and how to be successful in this or in anything? Because
I guess here's like one little thing that has been like on my mind lately that I've been sharing with some people is that real estate is not my passion. My passion is exactly what you were just talking about. My passion is Emily and I doing whatever we want, whenever we want, with whoever we want. Like that's what my passion is time freedom. And so, I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to the whole, like, find what you're passionate about and go do that, because I don't know what that would be for me. If you've got to do something, right? We all kind of have like the lifestyle that we want to live, right? And so you got to do something to do it. I think rather than trying to find out what you're passionate about, I think you should find something that just sort of like makes some sense to you, where it clicks. Like, here's the thing: is it's about as hard to earn $1 in anything, whether it's real estate or it's marketing, or you're going to start a podcast, or you're going to build a website, or you're going to do a blog, or you're going to make a product, or whatever you're going to do. It's about as hard to earn $1 anywhere. It just kind of how the market gets. Unless you're like the first in making iPhone apps and you could make $30 million from an app that makes a fart noise, then now you're gonna. And today that doesn't exist.
Do they have that?
Yeah, it used to be. And the guys that made it made millions, but it's because it was one of like 5 apps in the App Store. So aside from like catching the right timing or a unique opportunity or whatever, other than that, it's about the same to earn $1 no matter where you go to. So you just got to find something that kind of clicks with you a little bit, where you're like, you know what? I don't know if I love this or not, but it makes sense to me. I can figure out how to do this. I can figure out how to systematize it, and then just dive into that thing. And if real estate is that for you, then I'd love for if my program can help you, or if it's something else or whatever. But I guess my point is don't spend too much time, frustrated that you're not like following your passion yet. Just start making some money, and then like live your passion over on the side, whatever that making money is.
Well, great advice. I mean, I like to spend time doing what I like, so I recommend choose something that you like. And
yes,
I would maybe argue with you that not all vehicles are going to be the best vehicle to make $1.
Yes, I agree. It changes per person. I guess what I mean is I think that the amount of effort is oftentimes similar, because what happens is you have a unique opportunity where it's really easy to make money, but then people flow into it and it gets more efficient, it gets more competitive, right? And then it's like, oh gosh, opening a McDonald's is about as profitable as it is to do a Jimmy John's now, or I don't know, I'm just making stuff up,
Yeah.
But so just it's going to be different for everybody what skill sets you like gravitate towards or whatever, but just find something that at least makes some sense to you and just like dive into it.
Well, and I'll give my addition to that. So I agree with everything you just said, Pat. My first book that I wrote this year is called High Paying Clients, and one of the reasons I wrote that book is that I have found that it's just as hard to make a sale of something for $1 as it is for something for $1,000.
Well, that's a very good point. Yeah, and I agree with you on that.
If I'm going to work hard to sell something for $1, why don't I work hard and sell something for $1,000 where I make more of a commission? Or if I sell something for $10,000, or if I sell something for $100,000, like I get more money. So the nice thing about real estate, when I'm looking at transactional value. You say, well, I make one sale and I'll make maybe $3,000 up to $10,000. I'm like, dude. When I make one sell and I'm selling pencils, it's not necessarily the best fit. Now, that said, my a friend and client got a $100 million company, and he sells freaking T-shirts.
Sure.
So it's not like everything has to be high-paying clients, but he found a way to sell a lot of T-shirts. I don't know how many T-shirts that is, but that's more than a couple T-shirts.
Yeah. No, I agree. That is an excellent point. And that you're right. The work to dollar ratio shifts as you move up the add more zeros on to the dollar amounts and stuff like that. So I agree with you on that for sure.
But what I really good share though that real estate isn't necessarily your passion. It's not like you dislike it.
Yeah.
I don't think you dislike it at all. But
no.
It's a phenomenal vehicle. It has really good numbers because it is a high ticket sale. I mean, a realtor. Let's say that the realtor is selling. I had a client who's a realtor, and I was saying, well, what kind of properties do you sell? And they're saying, well, typically we'll sell properties like up to $200,000, like 100, 150, 200,000. I was like, all right, what kind of commission do you make? And they're like, 5%, 6%, or whatever it was. And I was like, well, what kind of houses would you like to sell? I'm like, I would love to sell $500,000 to $1 million homes, because then I'd make, 5% of $1 million is I'd make $50,000. That would be pretty cool. And I'm like, well, why don't you do that?
Why don't you do that?
And he's like, well, I'm not like you. At the time I was wearing a suit. And he's like, he's wearing a professional shirt, and he's like, I'm just, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. And I'm like, okay, but I don't understand. It's fine. Then go work your ass off to sell a $100,000 house and make $5,000.
Totally. Yep.
Or work your ass off and make $50,000. So at any rate, we didn't end up working together long because he didn't have the vision of being able to find out what you want and then what's got take to go get it. The great part about your whole shortcut, where you and I are congruent with, is go get help. And you can do it while you're busy doing other things. Pat already we shared with you. He was busy enough. He's like, no. I don't know that I want to invest the time. I don't know that I want to invest the money right now. I have other things I want to do. And I was like, bullshit. That's a load of crap. Don't give up on your dream just because it's going to be a little bit of work right now. Look what you can build now, and what do you want 2016 to be? And don't you want to help these sons of bitches that need your real estate shortcut? And he's like, well, yeah. Like, so then what's stopping you? And he's like, nothing.
Nothing.
And then, unbeknownst to me, you come out with the best-selling book and pull the same crap and find another mentor to go ahead and help you rip that. I'm like, dude, what am I, chopped liver? Help people with books? And you're like, yeah, I did on my own. I'm selling a lot of those books too, but not on your own. You did it because you partnered to make that happen.
I had a team that I was working with to make that happen as well. Yeah, for sure.
Well, people say it all the time. I'm going to go ahead and my last little piece to everybody today is just about don't wait. You know, just decide what you want. Find out what's it going to take to go get it. Find out who can help you go get it, and don't wait. My dad, I don't know if you know this, Pat, but he was in an accident this last year, and he was on a horse, and he was leaning over and was running. He plays polo, and he was refereeing or something, and he leaned over, and he was knocked off his horse. He hit a goalpost, broke his neck at the
Holy cow.
1 and 2, and he was like a hair's distance from being a quadriplegic for the rest of his life, and was in the hospital for a while. Very, very scary. I mean, he just fell off a horse.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many stories like that. A good friend of mine was in the hospital recently, and we went to go see her. And both, my dad is fine, by the way, so I'll leave that. He completely recovered, like miracle level. He's back riding horses again inside of like months. Crazy.
Wow, yeah.
But there is no better time than now. I had a conversation with a guy today, and he's like, you know, I don't know if I want to do the book now, and all this. Like, you know what? Now is the time. This time in this busy part of your life, you're going to have 24 hours today. You're going to get 24 hours tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. You know, there is no time to waste. Leave your legacy now. Don't wait till you're on your hospital bed and having regret. One of my mentors and partners with Comes to Books was dying of cancer, man. He's on his cancer bed, and he's like, man, I haven't done some of the things I wanted to do. He wrote his book using an hour of time left when he was between vomiting and losing his hair and all the crap that was going on during chemo. He recorded his story into his phone. It was transcribed and turned into a book.
And I love it.
Don't wait.
On the bed, in between, like you said, vomiting, cancer, chemo, the whole deal, still got his book down.
Still made it happen. And built a 7-figure business behind it, and has done 8 since, fully recovered. And
so awesome.
It's just, you know, don't wait. Go get some help. Do what Pat said. Just find something that's going to make you a bit of money. Give you some of that freedom so you can go do what you want. Yeah. The reason why I only work 9 months a year and I take 3 off is I want to. That's why.
Yeah, right.
You know, I want to go to the Bahamas for a month and just frickin' because I want to. That's what I'm passionate about. And I'll spend the rest of my time doing other stuff I'm passionate about. But.
Exactly.
All right, man. Well, this turned into a longer interview. It's an extra 30 minutes here. But, hey, brother, it's been great having you. I'm
Likewise.
So proud of your successes this year. You know, you're one of my favorite clients over the years. You've just
honored.
Been so coachable. You're such an action taker. And I love that you've created something so extraordinary. I'm pointing to my computer as though you can see it right here. I'm pointing to your product because it's right there for God and everybody to get. Go to realestateshortcut.com and you'll see all the details about the program. Go to greatnessquest.com/real estate shortcut, and Pat's going to give you his exact business model, and then, like you said, a video to outline it. And I'm just very happy to have you on the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks so much. My pleasure to be on here, and love working with you guys, you and your whole team. Appreciate you guys a lot. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, and we'll see you guys next week on Greatness Quest, where I'm going to bring you somebody else absolutely extraordinary. I don't know who's going to be yet. I have no idea. I haven't decided who it's going to be, but it's going to be somebody extraordinary because I can't look at this guy. Look at the success. This guy, that's a happy face right there. That guy. We're going to bring you somebody else like that, and I can't wait to see you. Trevor Crane signing off with Greatness Quest. See you later.
Thank you.
Greatness Quest is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.